emerging now, Gurudev, with the West, as you have yourself said, declining a little bit, and we wanting to reclaim our identity, and we becoming more confident as a people. So, Dr. Jaishankar had rightly pointed out when he went to Europe, he had talked about a Eurocentric mindset, and he said, Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems, and the world's problems are not Europe's problems. So this is a new way of thinking, and we love the way it is enunciated. Gurudev, can you enlighten us something, because we want to receive your wisdom in terms of your experiences. Can you enlighten us with your experiences which have shown you that the world is embracing India's way, and what can the world learn from India in India's ethos and India's way of life? If you can share some of your experiences, you meet world leaders, you meet incredible personalities, you meet people all over the world, and you are everywhere, from Iceland to Australia, you're everywhere. So can you tell us a little bit about what you see?
There's a lot of things to say.
We would like to hear.
But I would say the prejudice in the minds of people are the limited responsibility and a sense of superiority consciousness can block someone to keep their eyes open. And the recent changes in the world have broken those eyes, have broken those walls. Now people are able to see beyond their, sense of, oh, this is the world. If you see the news in United States, the way the news is covered, rest of the world is only 2%, 3%, 4%, and America occupies 95%.
Yes.
So, and if there are some influencer people there, so Middle East, it will occupy more space there.
Yes.
Other than this, nobody matters at all. What is happening in Korea or in Japan or another place, it's none of their business. But this is changing fast now. It's no more the same narration that was being promoted and consciously thrust upon the rest of the world. Social media has done a good thing in breaking this.
Yes.
And then also, people are waking up because we are becoming more financially strong and independent.
Yes.
You may say so much about your culture, but until you are technologically and financially strong, and of course our military is also very good,
Yes.
have become very strong, the defense in this country. So these things will make people wake up and listen to us more. Yeah, and with world leaders, I would say they all have many challenges. I'm very highly stressed. And so, they don't know who is their friend and who is not. This is what happens. This is...
How do you manage to talk to people who are highly stressed and don't like each other? Because I've seen you talk to both sides and both sides seem to love you. Do they share their stress about each other with you?
That is how we have got to be, We have to be if you want to be bridge, you should have foot on both sides. Otherwise, you are not a bridge.
Now, Gurudev, all the politicians who will come today will come to you after this. And they'll say, we are very stressed. Gurudev, help us. I'm sure they come to you. I'm sure you won't share what they tell you. But Gurudev, we have so many challenges in our country also. I'm very troubled by the attempts to break our national unity. Mahakumbh is a symbol of our cultural unity. But cultural unity can be the base of national unity, but it cannot substitute national unity, linguistic unity, religious unity, cultural unity, and national unity. Now, there are attempts to break our country now. North versus South, Gurudev. Linguistic divisions, big debates on delimitation, regionalism and regional nationalism. Then there is this caste issue. Use caste once again. And Gurudev, we are all 90s kids. We saw what Mandal Commission did to the country. It broke our country. Ask all the 90s kids here.
I know all these
what
things
happens
happen.
here? Yes.
All these challenges take front seat if vested interests are active, number one.
Vested interest.
Vested interest, number one. Second, if people don't have a goal, they don't have a path to move on, they don't have something to cling on, they don't have something to do in their life, then their energy, our youth have tremendous energy, and it is diverted in these destructive tendencies.
No, I want to talk about caste, Gurudev. I'm very troubled by it. And I believe that when we are all here today, we don't look at the person sitting next to us and we don't define ourselves by our caste. Do we ever do that? We define ourselves by our belief, by our nationalism. Am I right? Am I speaking for all of us? But these politicians, but these politicians, Gurudev, we have
in politics, it becomes an easy vote bank.
Yeah, but that's dangerous for us.
Very dangerous.
Then what do we do here?
People normally in this country, if they want a good doctor, they don't ask you what is your caste. They want a lawyer, they don't go for a caste.
Correct. But my trouble is, Gurudev, sorry if I'm interrupting, I'm one of the few people on this planet who can interrupt you.
No,
you gave me the right.
Go ahead, yeah.
He loves me. He allows me to interrupt him, trouble him. I even call him when I have my problems. But he never says he won't take my call, so I feel I'm blessed. Gurudev, I'll tell you one thing. I studied social anthropology. And I went to the United Kingdom to study social anthropology. And I realized that in the United Kingdom and in France, they have made an academic discipline of caste. They will not talk about bhakti movement. They will not talk about Sant Kabir. But they will impose a French or British philosophical view on the fragmentation of Indian society on the basis of caste. And they tell us the only thing that matters in India is caste. I was so disappointed. I regretted I studied that course. Now, Gurudev, my question to you is, some Indian politicians use the Western interpretation and bring it back to India without realizing the essential unity of Indian society.
Correct.
So how do we break this? Are we in a trap? Are we in a trap?
This thing happened in United States of America. In the state of California, they tried to bring this caste discrimination law against.
Yes.
Fortunately, the governor put it down. They said there is no need for it.
Great.
And so this is done because the people there, Indians there, they became more active. You know what happens now? The good people, the so-called good people, they don't act as much as those who are in negative mindset. The positive mindset people will say, we'll do it, manana, later, we'll do it, Bhagwan dekh lenge. God will take care of it.
That's not a good approach.
That's not, and the negative people are super active.
Yes.
So this gave a chance for those who are in the positive mindset to take action, jump into action. And so they succeeded in doing so, yes. Because, see, people go there, in America there is no caste, but then trying to impose this fabricated story there and take mileage out of it is such a small-mindedness.
Yes.
And they don't care about the country or culture or nothing. It's all a very self-centered, selfish.
So, what would you say to everyone to be vocal about these things? Because you began by talking about acceptance that was not passive.
Correct.
Which means we must not passively, would you say, Gurudev, we must not passively accept somebody else judging us,
Yeah.
somebody else dividing us,
Correct.
using us. We must not passively accept it.
No, we should
We
not
must not
pass-
have we must not be passive.
No, we should not accept. And at the same time, we don't deny, yes, there are discrimination still today in those areas where people are, whether are prejudiced or they are not well educated or whatever reason, that action need to be taken, and our constitution provides full protection for all that. But those, instead of, setting those things right, we take this in the international arena and take mileage out of it. I think it's doing more harm than any good to anybody.
So the message I received from you is we must confront in a rational way.
Correct. Unjust utilization of the division that unfortunately we have in this country from centuries.
Gurudev, my last question to you is actually what we are all looking forward to. Gurudev, I want you to tell all of us what you see for our country's destiny, and I want to link it to your thoughts about intuition. And you have said, and if I may quote you, Gurudev, that intuition means having the right thought at the right moment. Today, we are at a very pivotal juncture in our country's history. We all accept it. What does your intuition, what does Gurudev's intuition reveal about India's future and India's growth story?
In one word, I would say very bright. India's future is bright. We will be stronger, prosperous, moreover, more spiritual and happy society, which would showcase a model to the whole world. Just this one kumbh with so many different sampradayas, so many different traditions coming together, celebrate, everyone doing their own thing, has showcased to the world there is possibility for unity in all diverse faiths, in diversity. We don't have to fight over things. And billions of people coming there, yet no crime. This shows that India's greatness is its spiritual glory, where we stand for ahimsa, non-violence. We stand for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are all one human family beyond all divisions, beyond all differences, and beyond all, mindsets. This embracing the whole earth, whole globe as one. And moreover, on top of this, we are very environmentally conscious. We are